Hello and good evening for this Wednesday, August 9th, 2023. We just finished watching episode 3 of Big Brother 25, the week 1 POV episode. And we are going to talk about it here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch, or you might be listening to us on the audio version. I'm Dave Mader, and I'm joined with a fabulous panel here tonight. We got, of course, Jaemeel Robinson, the man to bring us all the live feed information and everything else. How are you doing tonight, Jaemeel?
Salutations, friends. Spicy one tonight, so I cannot wait to delve deep.
Me too, Jaemeel. And of course, coming off of the DL, as they say, he's been in recovery, but now he's back. Josh Foster with us tonight.
Hey, I'm recovering from way beyond the couch, and I'm more here to hear what Jameel's got to say.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes, this is your first podcast with us this season, Foster. We're excited to be breaking this one down with you tonight. Of course, spoilers ahoy. Well, okay, two types of spoilers. One is just for this, what happened in this episode 3. And then later on in the episode, we will talk about other spoilers, live feed spoilers, and what some other news and what we can maybe expect going into episode 4, tomorrow's Thursday edition. So first, I don't know who I want to go to first. Let's talk about just the details. We saw here that in this episode, there was a POV up, of course, Felicia and Kirsten on the block. And ultimately, Hassam wins this veto, but doesn't take down anybody. The nominations stay the same. We have 2 different sides that have formed here. We got the bye-bye bitches, and we got the, what's the other side called? I'm sorry.
So you have the
okay. The family style?
No, a handful.
Okay. There's the handful, but that's only the 5 people. But then
let me break down the groups. Okay. So jumping ahead. So you have 2 sides of the house. One side of the house you have is primarily made out of a core 5, which is the handful, which consists of
Riley, Jag, Blue,
Riley, Jag, Blue, Matt, and Cameron. But what we don't see is that there's a core of that group, right? So there's a core inside of a core, right? So inside the handful is crowd control, which is Riley, Jag, and Blue, right? And
crowd control, that's a thing?
Crowd control, yes. And then
Riley, Jag, and Blue, right? Okay.
Yes, that's crowd control. Then expansion of that is the handful, which is what we mentioned. And then there's a bigger group, which includes handful plus America, Corey, and Jared.
Right. That's the 8% alliance Cerie's pissed about in this episode. She's not in it, and she tells us as much in her thing. She's already kind of figuring out how Big Brother is. She's like, it's Survivor, but a little different. And she seems to be adapting pretty seamlessly here. And so we got that side, and then we got Cerie's side, basically with like Felicia and Izzy.
So you have Bye Bye Bitches, which consists of Bowie, Cerie, Felicia, Izzy, McCall, right? As the core group, right?
And then Hassam, I heard, is also in this.
So he's not in Bye Bye Bitches. He's part of another group that includes Bye Bye Bitches called the Professors, which includes Hassam, Red, and Jared. Right? But Jared is not talked about that much because he's technically a double agent.
Well, I don't know where Jared stands. Okay.
All right, Jared's with his mom. Okay.
Yeah, I guess they do. So they're the bridge between the 2 sides in a sense, in terms of who gets information both ways. Okay. And Foster, you're coming in episode 3 here this season, Big Brother 25. And I don't know, what's your feeling so far? Like, how you feel about this season, this twist? There's a lot to unpack here.
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. It is not impressing me so far. I watched the last episode and as well as this episode, right? So I caught up a little bit, right?
And there's only been 3, so you're not like really that far behind.
Yeah, I know, but like I guess what I'm trying to say is that I like the multiverse.
Wait, what?
Continue. Well, okay, we can stop the presses if you want, but Jeff Mader coming in from the Jeffries tubes,
coming in hot. Interrupted my big down speech.
What was your down speed?
Your vocals are too low, Jeff.
Yeah, or bring your mic closer. At least.
How's that? Is that better?
No, you're low. You're low, so adjust.
Okay, Foster, you were saying.
Okay. I like the multiverse theme. I do like that. I think that it is, kind of capitalizing on what what's happened in the last, many years in terms of and everything.
Better.
But I don't know. It's just the little things I think that are just like the room names could have been better. You could have actually named it not this what's the scare room? Is that one of the room? What's that?
The scary verse.
Scary verse.
Yeah.
It could have been something I don't know, the dark room or something it could have been I don't know. It's just it seems to me that so far that there's a lot of it's a lot of frilly stuff, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see more substance of the game.
It's too frilly for Foster so far. Jeff, how are you feeling so far? And about after this episode, how do you feel about this episode? How do you think the season's going?
I don't know. So far, so good. I guess. I do like watching Sari play Big Brother. I think we need to do more of this. I was suggesting to Amanda, I think what they should do is a swap season where it's all Survivor All-Stars on Big Brother and it's all Big Brother players on Survivor. I would love to see that. But because I do think it is a different game. It's very similar, but so I'm enjoying watching Sari. The douchey side of the house, I'm not a big fan. And I think you know which side.
Are you talking about the Handful and Friends?
Yes, that side of the house. I don't really like anybody except Riley.
Jeff, just wait until I start getting into what's happening in this house.
Oh,
you're gonna die.
Amanda's filled me in, but they're definitely it's very douchey. That's the only word I can really use for it.
I'm excited to hear.
I've heard Cameron's a bit of a creep.
He seems like it. I don't think I would get along with Cameron, just on what I'm feeling so far. Just on
the stay-at-home
He's got a Danny Math.
First one I ever used.
You're gonna be abusing that so much.
He has a Danny Masterson kind of vibe, which is not a good vibe.
That's not a good vibe. Yeah, like a Hyde from that '70s show. Okay. Well, and Sam was saying his girl this year is Riley. There she is. How do you guys feel about the title sequence in general? We got the title sequence tonight, first episode with that.
It was not bad. Not bad.
I love title sequences, so I'm always on board for it. It's so awkward to see these people try to put poses that kind of express their personality, and really what just comes forth is that everyone is lame. Every single one of these individuals is just lost, a lost babe in the woods. And
even
I love
America?
Wow. She broke the mold with that hair flip. Wow.
Come on. Or how about Blue?
Like a kind of Vogue? No.
Yeah. What about this one's good.
I feel like they're animated characters in a video game, I don't even feel like they feel like real people.
So look, this is what's really gonna happen with this intro. They're gonna get cut into clips and you're gonna see them on TikTok all the time. It's just gonna be are you sure about that? It's gonna be that level, right? You're gonna see that where it's gonna be someone's playing some bad music and you're just gonna see Bowie just going,
Bowie Jane.
Oh, Lord. Well, Sam has a good question. All right. And I'm going to.
Or do you mean Hissam?
This might be the best one.
It's so lame. It's so great. Okay. So Sam's question is who else from Survivor should go on Big Brother?
Boston Rob. Throw him on. Throw him on right now into that house. Hey, I got a plan for you.
Like a Russell would be great.
But there's no immunity. There's no immunity items to find. Maybe
Tony.
Going to closets and stuff like we're like
Tony would be good. I think based on how he played.
I picked Ana Lucia.
Ana Lucia would be great.
People will self-evict.
Chaos Cass would be great on Big Brother.
Yeah, Cass would be great too.
There's a lot. I think it works better for Survivor people to come onto Big Brother than the other way around. Like in general, I think that there have been some Big Brother people who have gone to Survivor, but it's kind of a rare thing.
Sari to me is more of a Big Brother player. That was her whole narrative on Survivor. It's like you got off the couch,
and now she's like going back to the couch.
Now she's back on the couch,
But you see people that are at a loss in Survivor where they have the social skills, but they don't have the ability to actually, win challenges. And you can get very far in Big Brother without winning.
Yeah.
Stop being a fan soon.
Oh, okay.
What the fudge?
So, okay, we heard from Jeff about how he feels about the season. Foster, you've given your thoughts. I'm liking the season a lot.
I just gave a taste, to be honest, but go ahead.
A little taste. I'm enjoying the season because it is so messy so far. I thought we could go a week without, no controversy, but we'll talk about that in spoilers.
Right. We'll get to our later spoiler section. But yeah, in this I'm with you. I think that this cast is good. I think it was pretty there's some people I don't like so much, but in general, I feel like most of the cast is kind of interesting. I like that these two sides have formed. I think that there's some interesting narrative here. In terms of the gameplay, I think Sari adds a whole new dynamic, especially us being Survivor fans and Big Brother fans, in terms of how she might be the narrator of the season, and depending on how far her and Jared go, I think a lot could turn around her. I think that I like my draft pick, Riley, even though she's on the creep side of the house, like as Jeff would have alluded to. I think that her as the first HOH is interesting. I think that how she's trying to play and who she's trying to align with, in some cases, is interesting. In some cases, more suspect. But it's not the worst thing. She's not the worst player I've ever seen.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm not saying she's the going.
When I give you details,
Riley, but
when I give you details, Dave, I'm very curious to see how you feel at the end of it.
Yeah, my other guy Corey, I have in the draft. I'm not so sure about him. In terms of this conversation he had tonight in the episode with Sari, I don't think it was very good. I think that he came across bad. I think that she was pretty the way he spoke to him. I don't know if he necessarily understood what she was telling him, but I think
Dave, how dare you? He's a master persuader. That's 20 years old.
I think he has a long way to go. Corey Wardenberger, in terms of he might be a great player one day, but I don't think it's this day yet. I think he has some growing up to do. And
he's great in the diary sessions. I think
yes,
the way that he speaks and the way that he's very animated. He's very some of them look like they're reading off of something, and he actually has actual something to say.
Because he can compile his thoughts and then he's be able to portray his thoughts pretty well.
Sam's asking what our intro dance would be if we were in the title sequence. What would you do, Foster?
Oh, don't ask me what dancing. That's a bad.
They're saying you're in production. You're going on, Foster. We need you to do something. How about you go, hey, like a wink and a gun or something?
I would either do the Seinfeld Elaine thing like that. Like the kick.
You do the Elaine terrible dance,
just as if I was really feeling rebellious,
just all weirdly and twitchy and sort of thing. I would respect that.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else I do. Next question,
Jaemeel. I think you would have to do that dance you did at the karaoke this year at the hockey tournament.
Which one? Blame It on the Boogie?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think that's trademarked. I would probably just have shades and just.
You can't trademark a dance, can you?
You can, friend.
Really?
You can.
It's movement. How can you? That's like trying to trademark walking. You can't do that.
I'm walking here.
I'm walking here. Yeah. Jeff, what would your intro? Like, you're going on the cast of Big Brother. We need you to do something. It's only gonna be up there for a second. So what are you gonna do?
I would take my hat off and throw it at the camera.
and then like 8 black men will come and defend you and beat up a bunch of people on a platoon. That's the signal. That's the
that
Avengers
was a
signal.
great video. I know what you're talking about, Jaemeel. That was a great video.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. But if you could be like the end of the title sequence. They would probably put you at the end because you throw the hat, you know.
Yeah.
So you probably get the last.
But then Jeff will be kicked off the show because he hit a woman with a steel chair.
Right. It'd be like, no, you can't throw your hat. That's not you're not cool enough for that. Do something lame.
Dave,
yes.
You mentioned us and we had to give our piece.
Oh
What would
well,
yours be?
since I think I would like run up really fast and go ah.
Of course,
High energy.
that's on brand, as they say. On
Yeah,
brand.
I go ah, or and then they just
You would
Oh, that-
work. Work. I guess that work.
I don't know. I probably give a few takes. I give them a few things to work with. They have to decide what they need from the character of Dave Mader on this.
Let's get to the recap because this is going to be a long. It might be long.
What happened in this episode, Jaemeel? What was Tell me about it.
Really, you want me to narrate this episode?
Well,
don't-
I'm trying to
Look.
remember myself.
Okay, here's the problem. This episode wasn't interesting at all. I didn't like this episode, especially with the amount of stuff that happened. I found the information that they did include in this episode the least interesting amount of information.
There was a couple good moments. There was the whole conversation with Assam and Jag, right? Like they were talking about sort of their experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's always positive to see, Dave. But at the same time, I think Jaemeel is like, well, you're covering it up, so that's not a really good start to the season.
I thought the most interesting part of that conversation, sorry to interrupt, was him saying that the closest Sikh temple to him was in Canada.
There's
from
more
Oregon.
Sikhs in, there's
Pretty
more
sure
Sikhs in
Bradford-
Canada than in the States. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it made sense. I'm like, you don't see a lot of Sikh people in the States, so kind of makes sense.
And he says he is the first Sikh to play Big Brother USA, but there was a Sikh already played Big Brother Canada. That guy who played
That guy.
He played in Big
That
Brother
guy.
8. He played in Big Brother Canada 8, which was only like 5 episodes before it was canceled. So it's
Fair enough.
It's hard to remember. He was at the Big Brother. He was at the RHAP event that night, and I couldn't remember his name that night either. I should look it up. But anyway, he was the first Sikh to play. And
That's
so-
the kind of stuff you see later on in the season when there's not much happening.
Right. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was my only issue with it. There's so much that's
you felt
going on
like
right now.
a weakness, didn't you? You were like, they're going to this conversation in episode 3.
With so much information. I especially thought we were going to get a Felicia gag, but I guess they might be holding on to see for later on the season. We're going to keep watching it. What I might be talking about, you kind of saw one portion of it where she fell into the the tub outside.
She's lucky she didn't hurt herself there.
Oh,
So-
so a lawsuit.
She totally screwed her mic pack. That mic pack was done, right? But that wasn't the first time. That wasn't the last time. She's gone through 5 mic packs so far already this season. 1 time in the hot tub and at least 3 times in the toilet.
What?
Right?
She dropped it in the toilet?
She keeps dropping her mic pack into the toilet or in other bodies of water. Now, if you currently watch live feeds, her mic pack is wrapped in plastic. You're telling me you couldn't dedicate a segment to that? Right?
Well,
Comedy
they-
gold, Jerry. Comedy gold.
Did they want to embarrass her, maybe?
They
I
don't want to
don't know,
embarrass her.
yeah.
We'll see how it goes on as the season goes on. But
I think they
Um,
think that it's going to be happening so much that they might as well hold off for a grand tally at the end.
Yeah, you're
What about-
probably right. I
what
thought
about the-
tonight was all set up, right? Like what they did was like they set up like look, like I said at the beginning, they got the douchey side of the house, and then you got the more like older, laid back kind of side of the house, the bye bitches side of the house.
it's almost it's like it's the Cerise side, if you will, and then you got the non-Cerise side.
That's how you're picturing it.
That's how I'm picturing it.
Well, that's how it's being set up. Like that's how it's being narrated in a lot of ways.
That's how Sari is narrating it. She's like, "This is the non-Sari people. These are my people." And then there's
but then the vote made no sense. Like I didn't understand her strategy tonight. Like, first of all, what you do is you use Hassam to you influence Riley. Like Cerise's like, no, I just have to make sure it's on me. But it's like, wait a second. The two people on the block you kind of like want to work with, but then it's like, no, I don't want to work with Kirsten. But I thought she was in the room for the bye bitches. So are you just saying?
No, she wasn't. That was McCall.
Oh, that was McCall. Oh, okay, that's why I was confused. Okay, fair enough. I thought it was Kirsten. Okay.
Look, okay. Big Brother usually does not have that many African Americans on the show, and they more or less fall into a very similar type. So, Jeff, I absolutely understand how you could misinterpret it, especially with all the makeup and the area, the chest area being covered, because that's a lot of the
right. That's how you really tell them apart.
And to be fair, I didn't really notice McCall on the show at all. I forgot she was playing.
She's playing quietly compared to Kirsten. Kirsten's the hot mess, and McCall is actually playing, I think, a little bit more strategically. So
a little bit, but she's kind of been figured out too.
But but that is true. Like I said that to Amanda, I was like, isn't it interesting that one side of the house, like they have the Sikh guy and the Asian girl, but there's 5 black people in the house, and not one of them's in this big alliance. You know,
not Jared is
sort of. He's more with his mom.
Jared,
which I don't necessarily blame Riley from that, because if you could have Sari and Felicia and Jared on your side without necessarily having them right by your side, then that's not necessarily a bad thing. The assumption that Jared keeps explaining this to Riley and everyone, don't worry, I have Sari and Felicia under lock. So it's like, okay, well then why do I need to necessarily include them if you practically have control over them? I could just have you, and I don't have to worry about 10 people being in an alliance.
So Jared's indirectly creating the problem.
Right.
I feel he is partly.
But then you have Hassam or Haisam. How do you say his name? Haisam?
Hassam.
Okay, they say Haisam on the show sometimes, so I'm confused.
Okay, so there are a lot of miscues and miscommunications about people's names. So, interesting fact about Haisam.
Is it Haisam?
I don't know.
I think it's Haisam.
Hassam. I told you that I was going to follow your lead until we were told otherwise.
Jane said we were driving her nuts with
Alyssa. It's great. It's great.
Felicia.
Haisam. He also has hearing loss. So he had a very in-depth conversation with Matt and was helping Matt pronounce a lot of the house guests' name, because Matt can only somewhat lip read it, and he might have missed a portions of it, and you're having conversations, you can't really tell like the specifics, and it's not like they can write out their names and just go like, hey, it's right. Kind of difficult. So that's a bonding experience from Matt and Hassam. Right, there you go. What about the conversation tonight with Luke, where he didn't know that Corey was on the block? And then and Corey thought he was an idiot.
Luke's gonna come up later and later
on.
Yeah.
So everyone assumes Luke is a lawyer because, like, he has to be, because no one is that dumb. I don't believe he's an illustrator. He can't be that dumb. I think he's lying. So there's a disconnect.
Wait, so lawyers are dumber than illustrators?
No. That he's purposely attempting to be dumb.
So he's playing dumb. They think he's a super smart genius who's playing dumb, but he's actually an idiot.
Yeah, I think so.
Or he's.
There's a major disconnect with the law. what we're seeing is there's a disconnect with some people who aren't necessarily Big Brother fans who are recruits, and you can kind of see it with how they started the game. So like people like Kirsten and Red, and where's my recruit list?
Red's a recruit.
Yeah.
What's a recruit?
So someone who didn't necessarily apply, but was like snatched up or like included to be on the show because they met producers or whatever. It happens. It happens on every show.
Wait. Okay. So who are the ones on this one? Sorry, go say that again.
So, what's the name?
Red. We
So,
just said
Kirsten, Red, Riley, Blue, and then people because of a conversation. Luke. Riley's still a fan, but Riley didn't necessarily apply to be on the show. Right? Suri also technically is a recruit, and then Jared, because they didn't necessarily apply.
Yeah, they were asked by a producer, you know.
Yes,
hey,
but Suri has mentioned that she would be interested in being on Big Brother, so it's slightly different.
Right.
But Foster, this happens every season.
What?
And some of the best players are recruits. Some of the best players.
Wall shattered.
I think like Dan was a recruit.
No, he was. Was he?
No, he was a fan, I think.
Oh, was he? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought he was a recruit.
But there's not a lot of baggage with a lot of these people, so they really play hard, or they play like very slow, and sometimes that's best. As opposed to, you don't want game bots on the show. You don't want 17 Izzies on the show. Right?
No.
It would be or 17 Izzies and Corys.
Because you know what you get then?
Right?
Big Brother over the top. That's what you get.
OTT.
Which, Foster, I don't think that's a season you're going to enjoy at all if you ever go back and watch it.
Just for a recap on where we were, the first Sikh player to play Big Brother Canada 8 was Hira. H-R-A.
Yes, Hira.
Hira Deal.
I didn't mind him. I thought he was...
Yeah, we never really got to see a lot of him play. He did survive all of those expulsions and evictions and everything that happened before COVID shut everything down. So
bring him back, big John Paul back. Bring not John Paul. What was his name? You know who I'm talking about? The one with the French name.
John Paul.
Is Jean Paul? Okay.
Yeah.
Bring the ball back. I would love to see them just play again.
Oh, the entire cast just
they were a hot
Canada 8 repeat. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
No, they just start from where they were,
and they just all start from where they were. They just put them in as the whoever's evicted before, they don't get to come back. Gone.
Okay. All right. So how did this episode start? It started at the end of the nomination ceremony, right?
It did.
I think we should get to the recap part. Otherwise, we're just speculating.
Let's do it. I'm with you. Okay, so I'm just trying to remember. Okay, so there was the whole thing with the we had what's her name, Kirsten, crying in the bedroom, and then
she was very emotional. She had to be left alone. But yeah, there
was Izzy trying to console her.
Yes.
And then a few other people came in, like Sari came in, and they all felt for her. But they were like, Kirsten's a hot mess. We have to evict her. That seemed like it was pretty universally understood.
Okay, I'll skip to the quote that. So it happened later on. So Sari had a conversation with Kirsten, and let me get to the exact quote. I want to make sure I say it. She was like, what is going on with you? And she didn't understand why Kirsten was the way she was, and was trying to coach her in how she was having so much difficulty, connecting with people. She was giving too much info. Matt also did so as well. What's it called? Where's this quote? It's such a good quote. I want to tell you the quote. Okay, keep going. I'm going to come back to this quote. Okay, sorry. Suri tells Kirsten that she doesn't know who gave her game advice, but she shouldn't talk to them anymore. Is a direct quote from Suri.
Okay.
And if Suri's telling you this, wow.
That wasn't in the episode, though.
It wasn't in the episode. That happened on Tuesday, so that's actually after the veto.
Oh, I see. After the veto.
But
Okay.
it's probably not going to be in the show. So
Okay. There was a conversation earlier in the episode too between Riley and Felicia about how she was the pawn. Felicia, you're 100% the pawn. What do you guys think of that whole part?
it makes sense. Riley, it's terrible for Felicia, but at the same time, from Riley's perspective, when Riley talks about Suri and Felicia, she talks about them being like so motherly and so good that she can never see herself ever taking a shot to them. So, and the consensus around the house is exactly the same. Those are the two that people don't ever seem to have a problem with. So it is a safe bet that if Felicia's on the block, Kirsten's going home, no doubt about it. Like, it never came up. Riley told Jared this as well, saying, Suri and Felicia are so motherly. All right. And then Jared goes, yeah, I agree, which was funny.
I do think the women are going to do good this season compared to the men. I think a lot of the men are going to get booted this year because a lot of them are douches. and they're not going and like everyone kind of likes the girls. So I this is the one season where I see it happening.
Who's your favorite guy
It's tough.
in the cast?
Like probably Hisam, which I have actually picked.
Hisam or Hissam?
Hassam.
No, you sing it a different way. It's like 3 different ways now. We need a pronunciation guy.
Probably
That
I
comes
think
up
he'll
soon.
do the best. I think he has the best rapport with everybody, but I think he will also be viewed as like a threat. So like that's the thing. Like, yeah, there's certain players that I think are either going to be like annoying or a threat. Like so, like a Corey's a threat. But like,
What about Jag?
Jag's a threat, but then like Luke's a douche.
Matt?
Matt's a douche. Like eventually they're gonna become like Matt's a threat physically, but like overall socially, he'll probably go far. Actually,
Jared?
Jared probably a threat. Yeah, probably a threat.
Red.
Red, bit of a douche.
No, he's not a douche. Red's awesome.
I honestly, I want Suri to cut Jared so bad. I so want that to happen
Well, she's a much better player than him, clearly.
by far, by far.
Well, yeah, she has like 4 games of experience under her belt. Like,
Yeah.
Can you
She was
remind
just like,
me
stop
what
talking
the
so much,
ones
Jared.
are?
She tells him that in the episode.
Sorry,
Can you remind me?
Sorry, Foster?
Can you remind me which ones are those again, please?
who's
What?
Foster? Who's Jared?
No, Siri.
Suri's the Survivor
Suri.
player.
Suri.
You know Suri Fields, right? You know her from Survivor?
Oh, I'm not. That's what I'm asking. Like, what were the seasons that she was on?
Micronesia. She was on
Fans versus favorites.
Fans versus Favorites. Her first one was no, it wasn't
Panama.
It was
Panama's her first
Panama.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the one
Then she
ours
did
on-
Micronesia. Then she did Heroes versus Villains. And
yeah,
then
she was on Heroes Villains. That's right. She
Game
was a hero,
Changers.
right?
and
She
then
should have been
Game
a villain.
Changers. But on Heroes versus Villains, she was a hero, right?
You should have been a villain.
Yeah, she was a hero.
People like her too much. She couldn't be a villain.
They even said it on the season that she should have been a villain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she's just so likable.
Yeah. She should
Foster.
have been a villain over Sandra.
True. Oh, true. Foster, you don't need to watch all of her seasons. Just watch like Suri Supercut on YouTube, and you get like all the high bits of how she just swindled boys like Corey, like just totally like snowed them.
Yeah.
Really?
She's got no
Okay. Yeah.
chance.
I don't know. Parvati should have been a villain that season. That was a weird.
So she is considered a legend then.
Oh yeah.
A social legend, yes.
Of the players who have never won, she's considered one of the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she should have got to the end twice, and was kind of robbed both times.
One time it wasn't even her fault. Like a whole bunch of people played all these immunity idols, and she got voted
Yeah,
out. by-
Idle Gammon.
That was Idol
Gammon.
Gamut.
that
Yeah,
was
Idol
the most
Gammon.
recent one. But like Micronesia, like where the Corey said to her, like, you got screwed. That was because Amanda took Parvati instead of her,
Dummy.
and yeah, it was a dummy move. It was Parvati won. that season, and Suri, it might have been close. Suri probably still would have won. It would have been close.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so she was inducted into the Survivor Hall of Fame, if that's a thing.
She
Oh,
Did
wow.
it?
She's probably in the top 5 of days played.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can buy
yeah.
that.
Because she got deep in almost every season. So
Yeah.
And she played the what's that game? The other one she played, the Traders, which is a good show.
oh, she did.
Yeah,
Oh, she's
Yes.
doing the rounds.
she's doing
When
the
she do the
rounds.
challenge, Dave.
She will never do the challenge.
Well, if she goes and does Amazing Race, she'll be the only player I think ever to play all 3.
I don't think she'll do the Amazing Race either. I
her,
just don't-
this is absolute setup for her,
Yeah.
Jared or Felicia.
her and Jared on the Amazing Race.
Yeah.
I can see that, but I could also see her, Felicia, if they go deep. Together.
That team would not do well. That team
They would not do well, but you could absolutely see it. The two mobs.
They would just be like, "I'm sorry, Suri and Felicia, you have been eliminated from the Amazing Race in the first episode."
Yeah, first leg.
Yeah,
We were so close too. We're only 2 hours behind.
Yeah, maybe I don't think Suri and Jared would do much better. To be fair,
They show up to the checkpoint and Phil's just gone. There's no Matt. They had to go on to the next leg.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, we left a note.
yeah. Is it? Okay, so what was left in the episode to talk about? They got the whole sequence tonight where they went into the backyard, and that's where she fell in the hot tub, Felicia.
Yeah.
Which
Which was on Saturday.
Oh my god, that was quite a moment. She just like almost goes right in. Like she just like kind of walks off and then she just falls back and it's not too bad. A bunch of the bubble jets goes into the pool. And then they were all checking out with the hammock and whatever else. Okay, then there was this whole thing with Matt and a pineapple and Riley. What was going on with that, guys?
That was stupid.
It's stupid.
I shouldn't have been on the show. I'm sorry.
They have a pineapple baby.
I'm not a fan of this Cameron guy. I just don't like him on the show. He gives me weird vibes. I don't like him.
I don't like. I'm afraid that they're gonna do something stupid, like they're gonna have a question later on in the season, and they go, "How many people in the house?" And they say 18 because they include the stupid pineapple baby because it screwed. I forget who they screwed over with that kind of question, where they included the goldfish in like a question like that, and someone lost because of that question. So I'm not a fan of those type of. It's like don't introduce that type of situation into the household. Okay, so they do the pineapple baby, which is dumb. Then they pick the veto players. So
before that, there was the whole sequence where we saw Riley and Jag that got really close. They made like a twosome, like even within the handful, like they're each other's number one. It seems like. Then we saw the handful got formed, and then they kind of expanded upon it. They created their outer layer with those other people, right?
Which is the family, the family style.
Family style.
Why is Blue Kim's chip say blue?
Blue's what?
Blue Kim, her chip in the veto when they pulled her chip, it said blue.
What's her name?
Isn't her name Kim? I thought Blue was like a nickname.
Name. Her last name's Kim. Her first name's Blue.
Her name is actually Blue?
Yes.
Okay.
About it.
I thought it was a nickname.
Her sister was renamed Hillary because her parents thought that Hillary was going to win the election and become president. Because they changed her name because they wanted to be more American, to see more American. So if you have that type of mentality with the parents, obviously Blue isn't a weird name, isn't that far off from a name that's going to happen.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a nickname. I was so confused.
There's a blue and a red, Jeff. That can be a color and a name, I guess.
So when are we getting a green?
So when are we getting the Purple Alliance? Like, won't they be...
Those two should be cut. That what? Yeah. Why aren't they forming a two-sub and say we're purple, Team Purple?
Team Purple.
Yeah. Okay. So you have that. Then you have the veto selection. So you have Riley, Felicia, and Kirsten picking the players.
Yeah.
Riley picks Hassam. was it Kirsten picks Blue and Felicia picks Cameron.
Right. So yeah,
Yep.
in terms I thought that okay. What do you guys think about this challenge? I guess is
Foster.
Foster.
Okay,
We
yeah,
saw them
that I
having-
didn't like. I didn't like I liked the pulling back, but it was like they ran out of ideas and like let's just make them look like they're gonna get a wedgie. Like it just was completely like they could have just yanked them back. Like that's fine in my opinion. But I like I do like the challenge because it is not easy and it seems like something that you have to do a few times to get it right. Like it doesn't seem like you can do it on the first try.
No, it took them. None of them got it on the first try. That's for sure.
Well, it took them like an hour to do it. How many challenges can they give Felissa? You know, like this is like most challenges she would have no chance. I was like, she has a great chance to win this. Nope.
When this wedgie thing came in, you were like, no,
because she just wasn't good at stacking, and like it is hard. It was frustrating, but I'm like,
Kristen almost won. I was surprised.
yeah, I was
Cameron almost won on the first go, and then he kind of spoiled himself there. He knocked his own thing over, and then he never really recovered. Truly, I thought it was kind of an interesting challenge visually. I thought the Big Brother USA kind of stepped it up a little bit here in terms of a veto.
Wait, just get this is like what the second challenge. Give them time.
Yeah. Foster, what would you rate this out of 10 as a challenge?
I don't want to say a 7, 6.5.
A 6.5, huh?
Yeah, I guess because I'm also counting visual presentation. I know that they did a lot. It's like I understand what you're saying. They put a lot of work, but like it just, I don't know. Like there's just stay with the multiverse theme. Like I don't know why you have to go.
It is the multiverse theme. They were in the Humiliverse with the wedgies.
right.
Oh my goodness.
This was a humiliating challenge where they got wedgied, atomic wedgied.
Awesome. Let's put a hat on a hat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go back. Go to Luke. Go back there. Oh my God. He looks like he's the guy from the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary.
That's what I said. He's Jeffrey Dahmer.
Like what the heck, eh? It's really strange.
I've gotten a weird vibe from him from the beginning. So
he's like Evan Peters, and he's got the rapist glasses.
Anybody who wears a tank top with a Hawaiian shirt over like that, I think is got perhaps some things going here.
Does he have any time? Is like, do you have any time to talk about the master race by any chance, Luke?
He's a Florida man. He's got some things going on.
He looks like he was. He could start a cult.
Yeah.
I apologize, folks. Like, if you know Luke, I wasn't like, okay. Well, I wasn't necessarily saying he's a Nazi. I'm just saying that if they were making a movie and they were casting people to play Nazis, I'm not saying he wouldn't be a bad choice. That's all I'm saying.
I'll second that.
With those glasses too.
If you're going for period,
got Raiders of the Lost Ark vibes going.
Yeah. Okay. Ultimately, guys, Hassam wins this challenge. Kind of. I don't know if it was a surprise or not, but good for him.
I think he's going to do well in these comps.
Yeah. It was. He seemed. He was pretty happy with the result. And who wouldn't be? He mostly did this to keep himself safe too, because he was like, "I'm not in this big 8-person alliance," because Sari told him about it. So I see like him and Sari perhaps. Like we kind of know that they already are, but I could see them kind of working down the line to each other if he's winning challenges and she's more of like the strategic one, getting the deals done. I wasn't like I don't think that the episode was that bad. I think it was. I don't know if you're looking for everybody to be a Dr. Will or a Dan.
I'm just like when I start breaking down what happened, you'll tell me it's like, oh well, that should have been the episode versus no.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. What about the conversation between Hassam and Kirsten in the hammock, where he's like, "What can I do to help you?" And she's like, "You could use the veto on me." And then
like,
I think Hassam, you know the answer to this question. Now, I'm not saying her pitch was very good, but he did ask her. But maybe they were just talking about whatever, and then they got into game out of sort of whatever. Kirsten.
I would have been very interested to see if she won. What would happen if she won? I have some
She
inklings
nearly
about
did.
what she nearly did,
Yeah.
and that's tough to know that you almost won, kind of,
Yeah.
and you
You're
really
going-
needed that win.
And you're going home, yeah.
Yeah. She's sad. But okay, the conversation in the hammock really kind of, I don't know. I thought it was a little bit boring, but
Yes, it was.
then we had the veto ceremony itself, which was good, I guess.
More boring.
Hassan,
More boring.
I think Hassan could have given us a little bit more about why he didn't want to use it, but I kind of understood the rationale he gives in the diary room where he's like, if I use it, then people are going to, that's another reason for people to target me because I'm going to piss people off and I'm going to ruffle feathers and it's not the right thing. He won this for himself, not to like make friends, I guess. And really like, it's kind of a safe bet that Kirsten's going to get evicted. Even if Felicia gets evicted, it's not going to make a big difference to him.
Zero chance.
Yeah. It's one more ally he'll lose, but I kind of got it. So that was the recap of the episode, guys.
Okay.
So Jaemeel was a little down on it. Jeff, do you feel it was a good episode or a bad episode? Or how do you feel?
It's a setup episode, right? So it's like trying to show you like two sides of a house, these characters, get to know them. It's not going to be the best episode of the season. So,
but all that setup is going to go to waste because of what happened.
yes. Oh yeah, it's gonna. Well, that's what's also good. It's lulling you to a false sense of security, and then it's going to be like chaos.
That's when the multiverse will come in, and we'll be in the scary verse, or we'll be in the what are the other ones? Humiliverse,
Scrambleverse,
comic book verse, or whatever.
Comic book verse. Okay, well, guys, there's a lot to talk about the spoilers, but we know going into tomorrow that the episode's set up. It's Felicia versus Kirsten. Kirsten seems like the one who's the big target here. We'll see if that's going to change in spoilers. If you don't want to know, get out of here, and we'll check you. We'll check you tomorrow when we talk about that episode 4. But if you don't want to know, but if you do want to know, stay around. It's going to be fun. We'll speculate. We can't see into the future, but we can see what's happened so far. So on that note, let's go to our spoilers section.
Okay. You didn't use the see, I was bracing for the Frankie Grande sequence, and I was like, thank you. See, on the flip side kind of business.
Oh, I can give it to you.
No, you don't. You didn't need to do that. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna quickly recap to get to the good stuff that we want to hear. Okay.
All right.
So Jag, Izzy, Blue, and Matt are all speculated reasons why pictures aren't on the memory wall yet. There's a theory that everyone's going to be broken up into 4 teams after the first eviction, right? Which could determine why there's 4 different verses kind of situation.
Jaemeel, we have to get to the big news here. Like, we can't go back worry about these.
Yes, look, we have to put context into some of these things that happen.
Okay, the memory wall is gonna. Okay, what was going on with the memory wall? So somebody was.
So none of the pictures are on the memory wall, which leads people to assume that after the first person's evicted, they're going to split into 4 teams.
Why? Because of the 4 verses?
Yes.
Maybe, but maybe not. Okay.
It's speculation. They have nothing to do.
Right.
Okay. People are pairing Riley and Matt up because Kirsten was telling people that she believes that Matt and her would be into each other, but Riley is trying to pull Matt to her side. Okay. Izzy was actually wanting to win the veto, and if she did, she said she was going to take Felicia off because she wanted Corey to leave because she does not like Corey.
Izzy does not like Corey. Okay.
Izzy does not like Corey, and you're going to hear a lot of people talking about that, right? Izzy's pecking order of elimination: Corey, Cameron, Luke, Hassam. Right? Sorry. Corey, Cameron, and Luke are the 3 people that Izzy wants to get eliminated. Okay. Kirsten also was revealing the Flanix 5 to a whole bunch of people, including Izzy. Let's see. Cameron does not believe McCall is a teacher and believes she's from DC and works in politics.
Which she is.
Sam, in due time. I thought so. You don't want any Riley information, Sam? You don't want any Riley information? S- of course you did. Play it for him again. Play it for him again.
It's this is the information, Sam. She's been a big fan of Super Mario Bros. Podcasting for a long time, and she really likes the comments from a certain one, Sam.
Yes, that's right.
I bet he does. Riley told Suri that the backup plan for a replacement Veto was Luke, actually. So if Felicia came down or Kirsten came down, right, the word on the street was Luke was going to go up in the place. Now, if you're if you're Suri's perspective, do you trust that information, or does it feel like Riley is lying to give you a false sense of security? So you can see why Hassam, like with all that information out there, it's like I don't know what to believe. It's just safe not to do it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, this happened before the veto meeting. You're saying all this happened before
Correct.
the veto meeting. Okay.
Yes. And Riley also told Hassam not to use it, but then later on asked Hassam to use it, and then changed his mind. Riley and Jag don't trust Jared, but don't trust Izzy. Izzy doesn't trust Blue. Let's see.
Blue doesn't trust Red. Red doesn't trust Green.
Green. Dogs and cats living together. Total pandemonium.
Yes.
Mass hysteria.
Riley is worried because Hassam has figured out the alliance, and Hassam has been telling people about it, right? And she found out. How she found out is Red approached Riley about forming an alliance, and the alliance was basically exactly what Riley's alliance is. And when she inquired Red about it, right, Red said that he got information from Hassam.
Hassam.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Riley also talked to Hassam about using the veto to backdoor Izzy because Riley doesn't like Izzy.
Riley doesn't like Izzy.
Yes.
And Izzy doesn't like Corey.
Correct.
Okay.
So Riley accidentally mentioned the handful to America, who's not a part of the handful.
Okay. Who's America aligned with?
America is part of the family.
She's part of the family. She's not a professor.
She's not a professor. Let's see.
So it's the family versus the professors, basically, right? Or family style versus the professors?
Family style. Riley wants Izzy and Hassam to be put up next week. Let's see. Riley cries a lot. She cries a lot.
Riley cries a lot.
Yes.
Over her pineapple baby?
Just over everything. Riley talks to Jared and says that she should have a sit down with him, Suri, and Felicia. She wants to be closer to them.
Felicia.
Cameron is trying to be a double agent and come over to the professor side. So Cameron and Luke are somewhat being pulled over. So it's actually not 8-8, right? It's actually, I believe it's
10-6.
10-6. Yeah. Let's see.
So yeah, everyone's trying. They're trying to get the numbers. Everyone's trying to control. The two sides are trying to get more people to be double agents or to cross over. Jaemeel, we have to get to the big news.
Jag has let Riley know that Hassam has found out that Riley wanted Hassam and Izzy on the block. Right? Riley had only told the members of her alliance, so she doesn't know who spilled the beans.
Okay.
Riley cries to Suri and is afraid that people are stereotyping her and that she created size in the house. Right?
Stereotyping her is what?
So she also cries and says that people are stereotyping her and thinking she picked her 8 based upon people that are like her. She says that's not the case, but then she kind of says that is the case.
Well, let's see. Okay, she picked Jag, Baloo, Matt, Cameron, Corey, America, and Jared.
All young people.
All young, all mostly single, right? Except for Cameron. Yeah. It's pretty.
So Jared and Sari don't like Blue. I'm almost there. Riley is stating she is not sleeping too well and is overthinking. She feels she's losing herself to the game. She wants to win, but she's also proud of herself too.
No, Riley, pull yourself together, Riley.
This is Paloma vibes, folks.
No, I know it does. It sounds like a Paloma, but no, this is no good. You can't do that.
Sam,
Riley.
Sam, you better put some positive vibes on the air because your girl's falling apart. Okay, so that was Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, 1 a.m. BBT time. Luke says the N-word.
In what context?
In front of Jared, Corey, Hassam.
Yeah.
Jared, at 1 a.m.
1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. BB time. So because they're on the West Coast, that's about what 11 o'clock, 11:01.
In the douchey context, Dave.
The douchey context.
Because he was saying I was in the cheese room or something. I listened to the clip. I watched the clip or whatever on Twitter. It's there.
Are you going to play the clip?
Do you want me to play the clip?
Well, no, I mean the censored version of the clip.
I don't have the censored version. I have the. I listened to the uncensored version.
What was the? I don't know what the. What did he say now?
He said the N-word.
No, I know, but the one that Dave just said. That's what you saw. Okay,
that's what we're referring to.
I saw. Yes, I saw. He was in the sense he was saying like I don't know what the
like he would say the word dude, but
as if he would say right.
Oh, like yo.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, that's all. Yeah, fair enough.
Every time I see your hand go down, I assume you're gonna start playing the clip.
No. Yeah, it's
so. Dave, thoughts.
My thoughts. What are my thoughts? Well, he was okay. He's been expelled from the house.
Yes.
He was universally condemned by the cast almost immediately. So I think.
That happened. I didn't know that part happened.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Even if you see the clip, you see people leave the room right after.
Yeah, Hassam's face really quickly, and then I think almost immediately someone says, "Yo, that's not cool," and then like it really go. It's gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna be in tomorrow's episode. We're gonna see a censored version or some kind of, but with confessionals and everything.
So for people who might be like, "What? This seems like a bit of an overreaction." Right. So, a Big Brother production kind of detailed their code of conduct during Big Brother 22 when there was controversy whether Memphis said something that he should not have.
Right. Yeah, this has come up a little bit before, but that
wasn't that about like the R word though?
No, it was the same.
No.
Oh, it was the same thing. Okay.
And
same
they concluded that Memphis didn't say it.
Yeah, that's what they concluded. But they stated hate speech will not. This is a direct quote. Hate speech will not be hate speech. I can't talk today. Hate speech will not be tolerated, and those who violate the policy will be removed from the Big Brother house. So there was. Now, are you going to argue it wasn't necessarily hate speech in the term? He used it as like he wasn't showing the clip.
He wasn't saying
Debbie. We have like terms TOS that we have to deal with from like all these organizations.
Yeah, this our YouTube channel will.
It's like
he wasn't saying it like with hate, but
no
hate speech.
Yeah,
he wasn't holding a picture of a black man and just like
no. He was saying it like he was cool or something.
Like he was saying it like dude.
Like you would say in like 2000 in high school,
right? Exactly.
But it's 2023.
Which like Amanda said, like she was like, you have to know not to say that when you're on a TV show.
And people have said that Luke seems to have forgotten that he was on a TV show, right? Which leads into the recruits got to recruit sometimes because they don't realize what controversies can come from. Like stuff that you do. Now,
forgetting that they're on the air and whatever.
Yes. So, my feelings about this situation. So, I had a similar situation that kind of came up recently. And I'm not saying for people to go dig up the clip, but I was Twitch streaming, and I was feeling myself while playing, and when watching back, I realized that under my breath, right, that I said something, right, that I should not have on Twitch.
Okay.
But it was GA, mind you, right? Very hard GA, right?
GA?
GA.
Can you put it in the private chat so I know what you're talking about?
Wait, I do. NIGGA.
Oh, okay. Just
like Dave.
But is that okay? So you said it.
I said it,
Okay.
and it wasn't a reference. It wasn't a reference to someone. It was a reference to a situation.
Okay.
Right? And that's not normally something that I would do because, especially I can be a public face at work at where I'm working at, and I don't normally swear at work. Right? I'm actually notoriously known for not swearing at work. So it's something that I'm very aware of, and it was just a slip. In terms of streaming, I've never done it here on Super Mario Brothers, so we are safe. They don't have to expel me from this broadcast.
It's more forgivable for you to say it than for Luke to say it. Like, you know, there's a difference.
I think that being in one, if you're on a program that is supposed to be catered to a family friendly situation, so my stream is family friendly. Wait, is it? It might be explicit, but still, I present it as a family-friendly situation.
So, yeah,
I don't swear.
Ideally,
right?
Yeah, you don't want to be throwing that out there, but
right?
but there's a different sort of impact, I think. You know, in terms of these examples.
I understand. I put that forth because. Do I think that Luke should have been expelled? Honestly, not really. And I know that might be, well, look, the terms of service, right? And I understand Big Brother, you know, they kind of put themselves in that position. I understand. I feel like context should matter more importantly. And I think a lot of times there are a lot more hateful things that are implied and said during the course of a season that are totally ignored versus this. Right. And I'm going to be very curious to see how this season plays out and see how people react. And I mean on both sides, mind you. Right. And what is the reaction going forward? Because this isn't like Luke isn't Aaron Grimes, right?
No.
Very different. Right.
Yes.
So,
and she never said the N-word.
But like, the context and the comments that we heard from that season was just
but she kept calling Candace like
it was the mocking and the like she was like talking like her and stuff, and it was really rough. Way more hateful.
Be careful talking in the dark, you might not see her, that type of thing, you know.
And then stuff she said about Helen too, right?
Helen. So she needs to shut up and make rice. Like,
right.
So
Julie Chen didn't like that.
That to me is a lot worse than.
Of course,
it is worse. But are you surprised in this day and age that that this would be the reaction? And do you feel like this would only reinforces that Canada will never do live feeds? You know,
I think Canada could do live feeds. I don't think that is the issue. I disagree with you when you say that is primarily the reason. Like, I've heard that they don't want to spend the money. I heard they don't want to spend the money.
Well, there's that probably too, but this kind of controversy, you know, is also something that I know the Canadian show doesn't want to have to deal with. You know, so they'd rather
technically
not.
Our context laws are a lot looser than the states in terms of what we could show.
In terms of like, I've been watching Big Brother for almost 10 years, Jaemeel, and I've watched a lot of seasons. And what I've noticed throughout the like, I came into Big Brother when social media was still in a relative infancy. And now what I see it at, I just don't think that that you can go on one of these shows being watched 24/7 with a bunch of cast members that are people that are not perfect, and one of them is going to slip up here or there, and then it's going to be then everyone's going to jump on it, pounce on it, and say like you have to do something or you don't need to do something, and people are going to push and pull the controversy, and then all of a sudden they can't get sponsors and they can't get this or that, right? So it's and they have buried these kinds of things in the past. They try to like cover these things up. I think the producers have given up a little bit with that, and they're just like, whatever. We have 17 house guests. We can cut one loose, and it will send a message to the rest of this cast: do not mess around in what you say. So I don't know.
I guess. I just want to state my opinion, right? Yeah. I understand their terms of service. Everyone agreed to it. Everyone should have understood. It's not like it's a surprise, right? So
I have the exact same opinion like that. I don't think he probably should have got kicked out of the house. I didn't know he got kicked out of the house, but at the same time, like, I get the terms of service. I get why he's kicked out. I'm not mad that he's kicked out, but I do think context matters. I think he wasn't saying that word in like a hateful way. Not that he should have said it, but I think like you have a talk with them, you dress it on the show, you have the whole cast, whatever. They have a house meeting, and then maybe you can move on from it.
Automatic nom
or something. Yeah, he said it, and then he almost like covered his mouth right away and was like, "Oh shit," And then I think he almost knew immediately that he had fucked up. But
of course, he made a mistake and he said the wrong word at the wrong time, and he shouldn't have done it. I don't know. I get it.
Was it
why is
Dave? Was it a hard ER or was it a GA?
I think it was an ER.
Oof.
Oh yeah. I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard too, and I didn't hear it because it was bleeped for me when Amanda played for me, and I was like, if he said it with an A, I don't know. It's not as bad. Yeah.
What happens if he was like Riley had her rap album music listening to, and he was like,
right. Well, that's what I said to him. I was like, were they talking about rap or like what was going on? Like, what was the context?
No, he was just trying to talk cool.
He was just trying to be cool. That's which is so stupid when you really think about it. It's like
you just like he was not getting eliminated like this week. So
no,
dude.
Yeah, drops N-word mid-conversation.
They've already taken down the thing from the feeds, though.
Yeah. And well, I'll be interested. Yeah, how are they going to like? They'll have to show it on the show, but not show it, and and so it's.
I think
they'll just put it N dash. Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. No, they'll put it in subtitles.
Oh, they'll put it over the subtitles. Yeah. So hey, this is one of those moments where it's like this is the consequences, so you better watch it. So I think that's all I can chalk this up to. Like Luke was, I thought, kind of a weird guy anyway, and I thought that wasn't necessarily gonna go too far in the game, in but who knows? Debbie agrees with me. So
yeah, Debbie, he was. So, now, do we have an eviction tomorrow?
I don't think.
I think we should.
No.
When Paloma was left, there was an eviction on the first week.
Foster, what do you say? Should the eviction be canceled, or should it go through with it?
The eviction should stand.
The eviction should stand. Someone must go. Someone must be evicted. Someone must be interviewed by Julie Chen.
Kirsten wins. She's in the Taylor position. She's in the Taylor position. She's gonna win.
She is in the Taylor position.
If Riley, doesn't get this, it's bad for her game. Like if this HOH just goes away, because not really. She didn't even nominate them in the first place, and then ultimately.
All the blood on Riley's hand isn't from this eviction. It's from the forming of the group. So it isn't. So the problem. Let's kind of walk this back. Riley's issue, like the people don't have an issue with Riley as a person, right? They have an issue with the fact that she just basically stayed in the HOH room all the time. And that's how people were easily able to clock who was constantly up there and how conversations would happen. Right. And then other people like Cameron were able to confirm stuff. Right. And Jared, because he's included, obviously. Right. And so she got outed very quickly. But you're outed. Right. There's another side of the house you have to assume. Right. So what can you do? Right. I would say Riley isn't in a bad position. Sure, she's going to be a target because she's the face of the other side. Right. But technically Sari is too, right? So just see how everyone agrees that next week is going to be the first real week, because that's when nominations have to occur. That's when people have to really, make a line in the sand as to what's going on.
Yeah. So maybe it is a good thing if this gets canceled tomorrow. I don't know. I could kind of go either way with it. If they vote out Kirsten.
No,
or not. Like,
she's so terrible. I wanted to stay in the
I want Kirsten to stay. Yeah,
I want her to stay. Maybe she'll have like a whole Kirsten sauce here, and she'll be
Kirsten sauce.
Yeah, I think that there's more potential here, and so yeah, whatever. And there's still 16 house guests. So this first week was like a shakedown week, and then
just imagine Serena never was added the last second, making champagne for people.
Right. It's almost like she's taking Luke's place here in the season. Plus, they've had all this social time and some comps to kind of see who's good at what. So
I just like this season because, one, we have two sides of the house, and people seem to be really engaged with playing so far. And all we need really is like the gas is there. We just need a spark.
Good.
Right? I'm hoping Debbie as well. Debbie says, I heard there won't be an eviction. If we're following the rules of last season, there probably won't be.
Okay.
But there just seems to be a heightened amount of gameplay this season. And when you have that, that's when you want to see an endurance competition down the line where everyone's like, I can't drop because if I do, I'm screwed. And a lot of seasons in the past you have, I'm safe, so I don't have to worry about it. I just need to pretend I'm trying hard. Right? When you have sides and every side is desperate to win and to get the one up on the other side.
Get the numbers and
that's when the desperation is there. That's when challenges actually matter and are important, as opposed to, this person won the coin toss.
I have a question here about Riley, because when she won this HOH, I kind of said in that episode, like, a lot of people went through that balance beam competition saying they didn't want to be the first HOH, and I said that's not a good thing. In my experience, unless you're like a Frenchie, or somebody like that, being the first HOH is pretty much usually a good thing. It usually makes people want to be nice to you, want to include you in alliances, whatever. But maybe there are certain players like Riley here, maybe perhaps is one of them, who should not want to be the first HOH because they got that Paloma mind and it goes too fast and they overstretch themselves and they end up and so maybe Riley is a Frenchie example here,
and I think Jag's kind of really centering her. That's why she hasn't gone off the rails. But I think Jared would have been in that same situation too. Jared is playing very hard and Cerise's there to kind of like, you need to calm down, young buck.
You're going too hard too fast. And she knows that this season's much longer than a Survivor season. So she has to, you got to.
Kirsten is another one. If Kirsten was head of household, she would have been in full Frenchie mode.
Yeah. I think that. So I don't know if who was the runner up in that competition next to Riley. I'm trying to remember. Hassam. So if Hassam had been the first HOH, this would have been a very different week, I think. I think that, even with the same, like, he might have kept the nominations the same as what Riley did, or maybe not. But I think that in terms of the power dynamics in the house, I think they would be very different now. But Riley was perhaps included in a lot of things like this. I think that this handful, it's kind of a weird, eclectic crew, and even though it is the younger people, I know, and whatever. But when they were forming that group, and like Blue's just in the room going, what? I'm like, don't you know that these won't make good alliance members just based on how they have nothing to contribute to the conversation? But I guess that she recruits.
Did you see they're young and they're fit and they seem smart? So it's like, hey, let's just be a group instead of like trying to get to know people. Whereas you feel on the other side, like Suri and Felicia spend time together. You see that Izzy has spent a lot of time with Izzy, with Felicia and McCall, right? Like they seem like a tighter group, and that's what that side, like the Bye Bye Bitches, are talking about with the other side, because they see Corey trying to snoop around. Cameron's leaking a whole bunch of information to kind of protect himself just in case a family falls apart, right? So there's too many cracks in that other alliance. That's why Riley's crying all the time. So we'll see.
Jaemeel, can we talk about just briefly your draft team? Daryl.
Daryl picked Luke. I did not pick Luke.
You did not pick Luke, but Luke was in this draft team with you and Daryl, along with Kirsten, who is your other player. And Kirsten was almost there won't be an eviction tomorrow, but if there had been, you might have lost your two players in this first week. I think you get Suri, but that was only because you guys only got one each. So we gave you Suri as the consolation. But now you got to pin all your hopes on Suri, and it's not. You could do worse.
Suri's not winning this game. If these Big Brother people allow Suri to get to the end, they don't deserve to win at all.
They probably don't, and I think Suri could win this game.
If I was in that jury, I'd be like, "Why is she here? Why is she here?"
Well, I think she will not win. Maybe if her alliance does dominate this early part of the game, and if she gets in, and then I think that they will cut her once they get to the jury. If they have the numbers in jury and whatever, and then they don't need her anymore. But I think that she could make jury for sure. I think that's pretty likely. I think the chances of her getting cut before that, I don't think are too high, because she's just not a comp.
If she makes jury, yeah. But if she makes jury, like Izzy has to go next. If you're Jared,
right? Izzy's another player. I'm not too impressed with Izzy really so far, but
people don't like Izzy. McCall does not like Izzy.
I don't like Izzy, and I have barely seen her on the show. But I don't think she's
Izzy.
I don't think Izzy's very likable.
She's not likable.
I'll send you.
I didn't pull her little clip from the intro sequence, but hers was like, it was like, or she was doing something. I don't know what she was doing, but it wasn't.
Hers was the most noticeable I found. Yeah.
Well. Right. Yeah. So, any other updates before we sign off for the night, guys?
No, right. I think we're good.
We're good. Okay. Well, thanks.
What is happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow night, guys, we're on at 10:15 to talk about whatever the non-eviction, the expulsion episode, I guess it will be called, and we'll see. Do you think Luke gets even like an interview or anything, or he's just gone? That will be that. So
I think it'll just be gone.
Honestly, I think based upon this situation, they could do an interview, like if he's coached and they're like, we want to salvage what we can. It was the rules. You said it wasn't malicious. You like if he's like Luke has an interview where he's like, I understand why I was expelled. I shouldn't have said that. I understand why. I have no ill will against Big Brother. If you get that type of interview, sure. Are they going to get it?
I don't know. They're going to be sending him back to Coral Springs, Florida. So
that's punishment in and of itself.
Yeah. Florida man returns from Big Brother disgraced. I think that will be the next headline.
If he's in DeSantis's background of a speech,
he might end up in DeSantis's cabinet now. Who knows? Like there's always a chance. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for being with us for this extra long podcast where we talked about the episode 3 and all the spoilers to come in episode 4. Plus, a lot. Tell us what you think of the season and who your favorite players are and who you're rooting for and who you're not, and what do you think is going to come next, guys? If you didn't know, Super Mario Brothers podcast covers other topics. We talk about Survivor. If you didn't know, and we've done podcasts about Big Brother Canada, and we also talk about Marvel. Most recently, we talked about the Secret Invasion show, which was so widely well received by the Marvel community. We talked about that on what's called the Mary Mater Marvel Society here on the Super Maid Brothers podcast. We were on there with Davan and Jeff. Not good.
I haven't finished it yet, but I didn't want to.
No.
You know what? I saw the best thing about Gravik recently. Gravik's in the Barbie movie, and I felt he did a better job in that movie
He's
than
one of
he
the
did.
Kens, I believe.
I think
yes.
he was the problem with the show for me. He's like, I only watched 3 episodes, but I didn't like him at all.
It just there was a lot going.
I didn't think he had much to do, honestly.
Yeah.
Check out our podcast. We talked all about it. And then we are part of a greater federation of podcasts called the United Federation of Podcasts, which features sister shows with a lot of the same podcasters you hear, like Jaemeel and I and Jeff and Foster and some others, like Davan Skelhorn, who's on tonight doing the Hold Up Movie podcast with Chris Murphy, who's another Federation podcaster. And they're talking on there with Adam Woodward about movies from prehistoric times or something, like, long ago. Jaemeel knows.
Murphy's gonna be so angry tonight. We were talking about it beforehand, and he was not digging the movies being selected.
No, okay, well that's too bad. But now I think in the near future, who's going on next? I think it's somebody I know.
Me.
Jeff's going on next. What are you talking about?
We're doing time travel movies.
Time travel movies. And Jeff picks Sphere, which is my favorite.
It's a troll move.
It's a complete this is
I
your
love
time
Sphere.
travel movie. With all the great time travel movies ever made, you're like Sphere.
Well, I was constricted by having to pick before 1999 or something.
Yeah, 1999, because they never made a time travel movie in the 20th century, Back to the Future. But I think
No, you can't pick Back to the Future for something like that.
I would be my troll move if I did Back to the Future. So anyway,
What is the negative thing people are gonna say? Does it hold up? Is like, I don't know. Back to the Future doesn't
I
hold
think
up.
if you pick Back to the Future 3, you might have something.
Oh, some people love Back to the Future 3.
How about
Love
Time
it a
Cop? I
lot.
would pick Time Cop. That would be a real choice. That would be the brave choice. So, but anyway, hold up. They watch 3 movies in a theme and they talk about it. The Graphic Histories podcast with Andre Mayette is an audio podcast that comes out. We interviews people from comic books and television, movies, entertainment in general. Very creative minds. Check out that one. Great interviews. The X-Rated podcast with Andre and Davan on Tuesdays talk about X-Men the animated series. They're into the Stormfront. They're getting ready to gear up for X-Men 97, which is coming out in Disney Plus later this year. The Hellbound podcast is Alex Blackburn, Michael Chan, on hiatus right now, but they do horror podcasts. Comes out Wednesdays usually. They're talking about horror. And then you got Eamon Mater talk about music. The Eamon On Track podcast, most recently talking about the Bee Gees' One Night Only album, the favorite album of our late mother, Beth Mater. And we talked about that with Jeff and Davan very recently. You should go and listen. It's like a 2-hour podcast talking about a 78-minute album, as you do. And then we got Trivial Debates, a show where we argue about movies, TV, sports, and more. There's a host, 3 contestants competing, and looks like we have an episode coming around The Office in the near future. So look out for that. And then we have Live Long and Podcast, our Star Trek channel, where we talk about Star Trek all the time. We talk about Star Trek Strange New Worlds tomorrow. We're going to be talking about, we already just did a trailer review of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4, which is coming out. Davan does other podcasts with trivias and probes, and he's locutors of Trek over there. We got all kinds of great Star Trek. If you like Star Trek, check out Live Long and Podcast. What are you waiting for? So with all that in mind, guys, I think we'll sign off for tonight. I really only have one clip to play, and it's the one I already played. So
Is it going to be the clip?
It's happening, Jaemeel. Here we go. We'll see you next time. Do we need a Julie Chen yet? I'm throwing a Julie Chen in here. Here we go. Where is?
It was a crazy week in the Big Brother house.
Sure was, Julie. Okay. See you next time.
See you on the flip side.
Damn you!
Stop being a fan soon.